Hello everyone, welcome to my live stream. My name is Denise Hutchins and I'm broadcasting to you from Studio Mikarts. Our charity of the month is Food for Life Global, and today is the last day. I'm going to be streaming this month, so it's the last day to help them feed hungry people. So please join me today watching and bring your friends. That will allow me to donate more with my monthly donation, which is based on Twitch unique viewer count. Also, please consider donating to the little fundraiser we have going directly through Twitch. So it's sort of a match, since I generally end up donating $10 each month to the featured charity. Today is Friday, which means it's time to have fun with some Chibi drawing. It's Chibi Friday. It's also very close to my birthday. Oh, Sarah, hello! How are you? Wow, you're right here at the very beginning. Thank you. Thank you for joining me right away. It's almost my birthday. It's gonna be my birthday in about a week. Yeah, in 2 Sundays. No, in two Mondays it'll be my birthday. And going with the theme from last Chibi Friday and the Chibi Friday before that, with live action One Piece, one of the many characters that shares my birthday is Usopp from One Piece, so I'm going to be drawing a Chibi Usopp today. Wolf is here right away too. Hello, Wolf. How are you? Oh, okay. Have a great shower. I hope it's wonderful and refreshing, especially if you're still feeling under the weather. I'm going to take a drink of water real quick out of my shaker bottle. I didn't give myself time to make some tea, so it's just water out of my shaker bottle. Oh, thank you guys for joining me. I'm so happy. I love seeing that little ranger sliding in every time you join Wolf. It really makes my day. I love seeing it. Oh, okay. So first thing to start this chibi is trim this paper, because I'm still working through this pad of paper that is like weirdly cut off. It's not 90-degree angles, so I've just been trimming it every time I get a sheet out, which means that it is slightly smaller than what it says, but this doesn't really matter for a chibi. So just trim that, and I believe this one, yeah, that one is good. So it's just these sides, it's like this for some reason, so we're going to trim this. There, now it's a nice square. I don't really have to do that, but I sort of do because it's very distracting to me. So now this way I won't be distracted. Let me put my paper trimmer away. And I just realized that I want my little clipboard, which makes drawing easier. Oh, I still have my Sanji on here. Still have Chibi Sanji from last week on here. Take that off. Chibi Usopp, and it's gonna be, I don't know if I mentioned it, we're going to do the live action Usopp. So I've got a couple reference images from the show, and it's been quite a while. I used to very often do a birthday drawing featuring Usopp or featuring Usopp and me, you know, like OC version me. Oh, there's lots of messages in the chat. I wasn't seeing them because I was dealing with the paper and everything. Let me see. Ah, cold is fun. Oh, Sarah put a bunch of the Rangers in there. Yay! Well, hopefully the shower will help the muscle pains. It does help me. And then I get out of the shower and they come right back, though, but maybe it won't be like that for you. Yeah. Okay. Have a most refreshing shower. Yep. Wolfax. Correct. No nose, because it's just chibi, so anime, I've done Chibi Usopp before. Anime version Chibi, I do put the nose on because that's such a significant feature of the character design. But they didn't bother with that for live action Usopp, which I think is fine because it doesn't really, it sort of ends up being a visual gag in the anime. Like sometimes I think it's been like his nose was about to be chopped off, so he rolls it up or something. But I think that's trying to imitate those kind of jokes in live action, I think will be a little hokey instead of funny. So what I'm saying is I don't mind at all that they did not include his long nosy. Okay, so the pose I have two different references. It's like so hard to find decent reference images from this show. If I had given myself more time, I could have just got the show going on Netflix and then done a screenshot, but I did not have time for that because I was trying to figure something else out about Twitch and I couldn't figure it out. So anyway, just got these couple of they're like official promo photos or something. And this one he's walking, so Usopp's going to be walking. Chibi Usopp's going to be walking. He's looking down in this full body reference, or the reference I have of his, a close-up on his face, on his head, is when he's in the Going Merry and has, the camera angle is from below. So it's going to be a totally different head. Oh, thank you. Wow. Nice. So, definitely caught up on the anime, right? Oh, thank you for sharing my art with someone who might like it. Yay! I'm so glad. That's the kind of thing I hope that people be like, wow, look at this art, and then share it. Oh, so biggest fan of One Piece. What's your friend's favorite character? Or no favorite character. I guess you don't have to have a favorite character to be a big fan. So the first thing I do with my chibis always is just a circle for the head. It's opposite from the method I learned from the Hogarth books for dynamic drawing to draw a character. But chibis, their head is literally half of their body. So I'll start with the head and draw the body onto it instead of ideally drawing the body first and then placing the head so that it matches the body. It's much easier to do that than to draw the head and try and make the body match to get a dynamic pose. Anyway, chibis, we're not worried about dynamism. We're just worried about cuteness. So the main trunk of his body is just leaning forward a tiny bit, rotated like 3/4. And then this leg is stepping forward. And one little foot up. And he's walking pretty fast, so it's not like one leg is straight and one leg is sort of bent like this. It's like they're like this because he's taking a really big stride. So this leg, oh, that little image viewer has a preview strip along the bottom and was blocking his foot. Okay, yeah, it's really straight. Okay, so there's the back part. And his back foot's fairly flat on the ground. Oh, you don't know. He loves ridiculousness. Oh, One Piece is chock full of that. Reverse Centaur, yeah. Yeah. And every time they introduce new crew members, and I'm so far behind, I don't know very much about a lot of the... Some of them I know because they were sort of talked about in the pre-time skip stuff for One Piece, but stuff after that, some of the members... The last member that I really got to know was Brook, who's a skeleton. And he was pretty funny. He was a weird he's kind of weird. But also, he has a wonderful, no spoilers of course, but he has a wonderful backstory, so. Even though he's kind of a creep, but he also has a really great backstory that I hope gets capitalized on by the end of the show. Let's see. Okay, so his hips have got to be here. That means his spine is here. I'm figuring this out so that I can figure out where I want to put his shoulders. So shoulders probably here. And then this arm, you can't see very much because it's back behind the body. He's sort of holding his... He's got like a bag on his side. So he's got his big iconic bag on this side. But on this side, it looks like he's got something at his hip, or he's holding something. So we'll just put a little hand right here, maybe. Then his other arm. He's just swinging naturally with the stride of his walk. Okay. And he's sort of got cropped pants. I guess it looks like they're tucked into his boots. So maybe not cropped, they're just tucked in. There's a lot of wrinkles on them because they're fairly baggy. So that'll definitely get simplified for this Chibi. There's just not very much space in these teeny tiny legs. Hey, little boots. Nice and simple. This foot is just touching on the heel because it's striking. It's in the middle of striking from before it goes down from the step. So I have that toe curled up there. Okay, and then his bag here camouflages. You can't really see what's going on with his hips. So let's add the bag. And I love this bag because it's an almost exact replica of the iconic bag from the anime and manga, because they've even made the clasp like super huge and everything. It's really nice. It's really nice to see, and I didn't really notice it until looking at this. Really happy they did this right. I love the live action One Piece. And I've been listening to the music on Spotify, and I didn't really notice before, but now I'm like, wow, the music is really good too. The background music. Now I'm erasing some of the original little sketchy lines I put so that I can understand what I'm doing here better. It's getting very full of graphite. Let's clean it up a bit. So easy to get lost in my own drawing. Not in a dreamy way, but in a I don't know what I was trying to do here way. Okay. There's a little tiny piece of paper right here. Okay, got it. Little stuff like that distracts me. Can't help it. Or at least it's such a small thing, it's not worth trying to fix. Not worth trying to fix about myself. There's other things it's more important to work on. I like one of my perfectionism workbooks that I use says to be imperfectly imperfect. And that kind of blew my mind. I was like, oh, because I always hear stuff like, oh, perfectly imperfect. But it's still like perfectionism. But this one's like, no, you're going to be imperfectly imperfect. It's the only thing that anybody can be, and it's okay. So I love that. It's really empowering to hear something like that. So that's why I don't try to stop myself when I have little things that bug me, like little eraser bits on my desk and stuff. Just let it be. Just let me be myself for a little bit. It's not hurting me to clean my desk. Okay, I did my best because Usopp is fairly well, I guess everybody is. Not everybody shows off their not everybody has a little how can I say this? Because Sanji takes off his shirt in the anime, so you're like, wow, he's ripped. But even Usopp, you can see these amazing muscles in his arm, and he's just walking along. He's not flexing or something. So Try to capture that here with the little chibi too. Even though the anatomy is super simplified. I think I gotta shorten this lower arm though. It's sticking out a little bit too far for the little nub hands that I do. I'm gonna turn it so I can get a nice... Ah, that's better. Little chibi nub hands. This one I now have to move because his waist is farther in than what I originally thought. Actually, I think I shall take a break from the lower body and work on the upper body a bit. Upper body. The lower half of the chibi, so the body, and work on the head some. Which means I'm going to move over to my other reference image. I like this one much better because as a reference for this chibi because he's smiling. And we'll just do the regular chibi face, although I realize I want to add guidelines for the eyes first and this part of the face, which means this should be curving like this. Okay, and the eyes would be probably here and here. Excellent. Okay, now I can draw this side of the face. Ears here. The top of the ear in general is about the same height as one's eyebrow. But for chibi, I usually put it at the same height as the middle of the eye. I want to lower this jawline a little bit. That's the one thing. This pencil doesn't come with an eraser on it. And that's the one thing that's missing. My little favorite Animal Crossing pencil. It's an eraser. Then again, I usually go through the eraser so quickly on mechanical pencils. Maybe it's not that big of a deal. I'm really working on this jawline because I always find I'm a little disappointed in how I draw a chibi's jawline from a 3/4 view like this. So I'm trying to keep in mind that using this line that I've drawn as a guide, the chin should be right about here. And I think that's a big reason why I end up unhappy because I don't really think about that. But I see it at the end after you can't change anything. Alright, I want to clean up. I'm going to get a larger eraser. I'm going to clean up some of these sketchy lines on the face. Just cleaning up everything on this bottom part, actually. Okay. tapping up all the little eraser bits. I think I got them all. Into the trash they go. It's so nice today, the weather. I have my window open and it's been like a thin layer of clouds, so it's bright, but it's not too much direct sunlight, which direct sunlight just gives me a headache, so I'm very happy when it's cloudy. And it's cool and it's relatively quiet. All the plants are getting their green leaves on. They look so nice. It's like I need just a camera to be a little square like right here, showing the lovely view out of my window over there. Studio view. Not stream, what do you call that? Live cam. Okay, I think I like this. I like this shape for the face, the head. Yeah, I've thought of that before. I just need a little series of, so there's like the view out the window, the view of the blue and orange bed, which is usually Chappie, the view of the cream and brown bed, which is usually Aoife. Yeah, snore cam. Snore and dreams. Yep. I did. My husband found me a second webcam so that I could do a little close-up angle, but I need a like 12-foot cable in order to make it work to reach over to my PC. So I have not yet implemented that. And it also needs to be, it's an older webcam, so it has that, it's not USB-C, it's one of the older ones, like micro USB or something. That's so funny. Yeah, dude, that would be so funny. I'd be like, what? Is my laundry done? Oh no, there's a new follower. Yay! So funny. Now I'm just getting the shape of the head how I want. Tapping up all of the eraser bits. Oh, that's good enough. It's nice these two images are from the same episode, so he's got the same outfit on, because they have them changing outfits from episode to episode, which I think makes sense. It makes more sense than the anime where they're like wearing the same clothes all the time and they're probably horrifically crusty and dirty and falling apart. But of course that's not depicted. And of course it's anime, it's way easier to animate the same outfit over and over. Anyway, I really appreciate that they give them different outfits, but that still seem like clothes that they'd wear. Okay. Face. Let's add his face. I gotta zoom in. This is a larger image, but his face is actually not taking up that much of the image. But it's a nice high quality one, so I can zoom in real close. Of course, we want to make the eyes like gigantic since they're chibi. I'm going to draw these big bug eyes because that's the eyeball inside of the skull, and then we'll draw the eyelids on top of that. Alright, so it arcs up and then comes down like this. And it seems to be fairly flat on the bottom half of the eye and arcs up in the corner. I wonder if you're hearing the neighbor dogs tussling with each other. I wonder if that's being caught. I'm hearing it through the window. They're always fighting amongst each other, but hopefully it will calm down quickly. Oh, and there goes a crow. I gotta erase some of this. I'm not sure if these eyes are even with one another, so I need to erase now all of these little guidelines that I have. They're visually confusing me now. Maybe if I move that ear in, that would be good too. It's so much harder. Well, yeah, harder, but not in like, oh, how can I do this kind of way, but just like it's more work to chibify a living, real human being as opposed to an animated character. Because you just gotta get it right. You gotta get the anatomy right. And yet you're still caricaturizing it, so it's still not really right, but it's got to be right in through the rules that you have established within your own chibi style. Okay. I think I'm getting there. I think that these look fairly even. I do want to move this ear in though. Just a bit. Half the ear is covered by his bandana anyway. Okay, so this is the back of the skull coming in like this. There we go, something like that. And then his hair and his bandana will be all there. Ooh, I think that this is looking good. Got the eyes established. Still need eyebrows, still need a mouth. So the guideline is still fairly visible inside of this eye. I think I'm going to redraw this eye. I want it to be larger and a little bit farther away from the edge of the face. It's a little too close to the edge of the face. I'm going to start with the outside corner first. So close. So close. Let's try again. If I start with my big circle first. I think I've got to shorten it because of perspective. Yeah. Yeah, I think I like that better. Still ended up being pretty close to the edge of the face, but I could actually adjust the face instead. Let me give it a look. I'm looking at it not here, but over here on my camera, because this helps, it's sort of like a filter, and it helps you see it differently. But I think that's good. Or at least it's good enough. That's another anti-perfectionistic saying. Good enough. Good enough thinking. Doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be good enough. And this is good enough. The eyes are fairly level. The shape is similar enough. I'm just going to change the edge of the face a bit. There, okay, good. And let's put his smile on here. As usual, I don't like drawing lips on chibis either. Unless it's like lipstick, and then I usually make it very thin. Because the mouths end up being so big. Oh, nice. Yay, welcome back. Woo, I hope you're having a delicious dinner. Delicious and nutritious. I can't wait for my dinner. I'm going to be on my own tonight, so it's just gonna be some little Notco dino nuggets, and I'm so excited because I've never tried them before, at least I don't think I have, and some French fries with sweet chili sauce for dipping the nuggets, and some ranch for the fries. We're just gonna play some video games. I keep changing this mouth. I realize it's what it is it's a little too far forward. I'm gonna move it back. That's one thing that's nice about sketching on digital, which I rarely do. I really don't like it overall. But one nice thing is that you like the shape or whatever, you just circle it, lasso it, and you can move it around or whatever. But I am here with my eraser. Oh yeah, that's better. It's one of those times where you gotta do what's best for the chibi and not trying to imitate the original reference image too much. He looks kind of like one of those little forest spirits in Princess Mononoke. Click and drag, yep. Little lasso. You can put it wherever you want. You can put the mouth outside of the body if you want. I actually have a how to draw male and female faces anime manga style book. And that's exactly what it tells you to do, or at least that's how it shows you the difference between a really expertly done anime style face or manga style face, anime/manga style, and one that's just like, why is this face a little bit off? There's just something about it, and it's like, oh, the mouth is 2 millimeters too low, or the eyes are too small, or something like that. So That book even shows you using digital techniques, but you just gotta, if you want to do physical media like me, you gotta just keep erasing or something, or redraw it entirely. Alright, but I'm very happy with these main things right here. So, let's start adding some details. I guess I'll add his, well, let's do the eyebrows. Is this got kind of average looking eyebrows? And they're like up and positive. That's something really nice about Usopp. He's like a huge coward, and yet he's so positive. They're not the same. This one might be up a little bit. Yeah, this one needs to go up a bit compared to the other one. Yeah, it is. Like, I totally understand. It's very iconic. And also, it's sort of from the very beginning, it's a sort of visual gag or something, because his name is Usopp, and in Japanese, Uso, so the beginning part of his name means lie, as in to lie. It is the noun lie, like a lie. So, his nose being long, if you think of Pinocchio, in Pinocchio, if you lie, your nose gets longer. So, that's sort of like a visual reference to that, to the fact that he tells lots of lies, or tells lots of stories, whichever way you want to think of it, but it's in his name, Usopp. So, I had these way back in the day, way before Crunchyroll or any easy way to stream anime. And even when fan subs and stuff were very, very hard to get, we had these Hong Kong bootleg DVDs of One Piece, and we had a ton of them too. Is how we could watch it. People just sold them at anime conventions. That's where we got them. And then once we started getting them, we were like, they were on eBay and everything. I don't have them anymore because I'm like, I don't need this in my collection anymore. But the translations were terrible. And so for Usopp, his name was Liar Boo because Usopp. So Usopp, and then Poo is in the same syllable family, because there's Hu, Boo, and Poo. And so anyway, Liar Boo was his name in those DVDs. Sanji was the best. This is why I always want to drink sun-kissed orange soda while watching One Piece, because Sanji's name for some reason came out as sun-kissed. Like, it's spelled just like the soda. Just like the orange soda. My theory has always been that they had the translation into Chinese from Japanese, and then they translated the Chinese into English for the bootleg versions. That's my theory, because I just don't know how else you could get these crazy names. I don't remember any of the other ones. But, yeah, Liar, Boo, and Sunkissed will be with me forever. Okay, finally got his eyebrows on, and I'm happy with their placement. Let's draw his pupils. They're, of course, going to be, or not the pupils, the irises. The pupils are inside the irises. They're going to be gigantic because it's a chibi. So basically like a little baby. And then the pupils go inside. Again, since it's chibi, let's make the pupils nice and big. Even though, from this reference image, I think his pupils would be small because he's outside. So, but this isn't about being naturalistic. This is about being cute, and big pupils are cute. That's why that was in Shrek. What was it, Shrek 2? That's why that was in there. Oh, thank you. Valid theory, thank you. Alright, take a drink of water. It's got the remnants of my green smoothie in there. It was a banana smoothie and it was so yummy. I put the cocoa nibs in as well and chocolate soy yogurt with banana and all the other stuff I usually put in. So good. So even this like water that just has a little bit of a touch of that flavor left over in it. It tastes so good. Yeah, I think maybe his pupils should be even bigger. Like that. Yeah, let's make pupils even bigger. And for his eyelashes, I'm just going to add a little thicker line. I like this way of doing eyelashes for male characters. Or we could say masculine characters. Which is to represent them with a thick line along the top. We'll put a little touch of the points. Although you don't really see them on this side, you see them on this side. So we'll do a little touch on this side of some eyelash points. And we'll get rid of them on this side. So, you're coming to life. Okay, now let's put his bandana on, and then that way we can add his hair. We'll have to put it on lower than it is in the reference because of the shape of the chibi head in order to get it to cover his ear a bit. Which is how I like to do my bandanas. I wear bandanas to exercise sometimes to help catch the sweat, and I can't stand having it behind my ears. I like it to have it locking my ears in. That's what I prefer. Okay. Maybe it can come out a little bit farther and then dip down. So that it's not touching the eyebrow at least. It's a lot closer than the reference image to the eyebrow, but let's not have it touch. That's good. Oh, let's see. Okay. It's fairly smooth, like it's pulled tight across his forehead. There's not really any wrinkles in it. But the wrinkles are more toward the back, as I suppose that's where it's tied back. I can't tell from these reference images, but I suppose that's why there's wrinkles coming from the back. That's probably good. Yeah, nice. I love drawing wrinkles and folds and stuff. I mean, I did not really enjoy it when that was literally all we were drawing. Like, we sit down and for 2 hours draw a curtain. I had to do that in some of my drawing classes. I didn't enjoy that. The end result is still pleasing to look at. But when it's part of a larger illustration, I do enjoy making fabrics look fabric-y. It feels like a magical skill or something. So I didn't intuitively know how to do it. When I first really got into drawing, I had to figure it out. And maybe some folks can just be like, oh, well, it would be like this without even thinking about it. But I had to think about it at first. So even now, so many decades later, I still feel very happy drawing. Being able to draw folds and things. Alright, that's probably enough. Let's add his hair. Sounds tedious. Oh man, I can't even tell you. I was dreading each time I had to sign up for a new drawing class or a new painting class as I went further along in my degree, and I just dreaded. I'm like, oh no, I'm gonna have to draw more boxes, more vases. So it was such a wonderful relief when I got to my last year or so. And it was conceptual instead of technical classes. And it was like, what? I get to make up an idea and then execute it? I don't have to sit here and just draw really boring things anymore? It was so wonderful. That said, it is a completely valuable, absolutely valuable skill to develop. And I didn't enjoy it, but I don't resent having to do those classes. I am thankful for those classes because they really do teach you so much. No! Don't send me those things! Why are you trying to trigger me? That's so funny. That's so mean. You put boxes and faces in the chat. I mean, when else would I ever make myself sit down and draw that stuff? I don't think I ever would have done it. Not in the way that the classes made me do it. Man, I love drawing his hair. This is super fun. It's so different from what I usually draw for hair. And this is why I love always having a reference image, because I don't have experience drawing sort of dreadlock style hair like this, so it's awesome. Alright, you can see some on this side, and I suppose it goes down. It's all about the same length as far as I can see. So maybe we'll draw a few more that is like we're seeing it from the back of his head. Seeing it from around the back. My little pencil tip keeps coming loose. I keep having to tighten it back up. Oh, at least that box is a present. That one I don't mind so much. Let's see, is this just shadow? Okay, I think it is. Alright, let's add a few more on this side coming down, because they're both coming down, I believe, in front of his ears as well as behind. So his other ear is probably right about here. So let's have a few more. And I'm seeing one that's like really sticking out this way. So let's do that. It's a little more interesting. Ah! Ah, he's coming to life. Here's how it's coming so far. We still have a lot to do, but I think it's been worth it. All of these little, I keep having to not nitpick, but really work on it to get it to look how I want. Oh, it's a birthday present. Yay! So my birthday is coming up. Thank you. I still have all the birthday presents you sent me. All beautifully stacked. All the wrapping paper you chose is just so gorgeous. It's like, I'm kind of ashamed to open them because they look so nice on my table. Alright, the thing that's on top here, now I'm working on his body. I'm going to go down to the body and get all these details in here. The topmost layer, aside from his arm, is this strap from his bag. So we'll add that. There's a little loop right here. And then this strap attaches and goes across. And then we can't really see the strap from the back. Just a tiny little bit right there. Okay. And assuming that this is done the same way as the bottom part, there should be two little, I think they're called rivets. I'm not sure, but I'm drawing those. They're teeny tiny, but I like adding details if I can fit them. This part of the bag should be sticking out a bit more. This clasp. Here we go. All the presents. Yeah! I'm so excited! So excited for my birthday! I didn't mean to take 2 weeks off, but since I decided to protect my mental health by taking a week off every month from my really intense work, I'm still doing stuff like household chores and all my exercise routine, of course, and everything like that. But anyway, I was like, well, in order to do it, well, I may as well put them back to back, because it's either going to be February back to back, February, March, or do it in the middle of the March, which doesn't make sense. In the middle of the month of March. Which doesn't make sense because I don't need a break that soon after doing it at the end of February. And so, anyway, that's his birthday present to myself to take the 2 weeks off this time. Alright, so his vest is the next thing, and it's actually sitting up off of his shoulder a little bit. So hopefully this depicts that. Alright, and it comes down and crosses in the front with a couple of flaps. It's not like a typical waistcoat vest. It's like it comes down and then there's these two flaps that are connected. But most of that will be underneath this, so I guess I don't really need to worry about that. Because then that will just be a little jumble of lines right here, and there's no reason to bring so much attention to the middle of his body. Alright, and the other side of the vest, the same way over here, it's sticking up off his shoulder. This one is sticking out from his chest. And then it curves in like this. Yeah, there's definitely something at his side there. Maybe it's his slingshot. I can't tell. Well, anyway. That's there. So let's clean up some of these lines so I remember which ones I'm keeping and which ones were from before. And then the front of the vest comes across like this. And let's see, it goes quite far out to the side. So it comes back out to this connecting strap in the middle. It comes out like that. I guess I can fit this strap. And that's not too much. And that's all right. There's a seam here. And there's also seams around the... I mean, I don't know what these kind of seams are called when it's like an extra piece. Oh, Sarah might know because she's so good at sewing. There's like the fabric, but then along the seam, along the edge, there's like another different piece of fabric sort of folded over and that's sewn on. Anyway, that's all over this whole vest, so I'm going to include that. And you can even see it on this side. Ooh, 3 minutes till break time. And it comes up this way too. And you can see his arm now. Right here, gripping something at his hip. I have no idea what it is, so I think I might just not draw it because I don't know what it is at all. You can see his iconic armband, the blue-white stripes. Oh, this is a mess. I've got to clean this up a bit because I definitely want to include those blue and white stripes. Huge part of his classic look, we'll say. There. Oh, it's a slingshot for sure. I mean, it makes sense. I just can't see anything other than some sort of holster or bag or something. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I just have it on I have it up on my monitor over here. I don't like to stream anything that's copyrighted to somebody else unless it's from one of those free reference sites. So when I'm using my own photo, then I put it up on screen. I'm gonna make this part of the vest stick out a little bit farther. Would it be from a serger? That thing that edge? It's like, I don't know, would you call that piping? No, I think piping is an actual pipe shape. Hem. I just saw that at the top of the chat. Sarah said hem. It's like hem. It's like at the, it's the edge. But it's also in the middle. It's just this outside part. Here, I'll draw it more closely. So say like you have a piece of fabric here. Yep. And then there's this extra piece of fabric that's wrapped around and sewn to make this an edge like this. So this is like the fabric. So it's not just like the fabric is folded in on itself and then hemmed. It's like there's another piece of fabric that makes it. I don't know. Okay, that's what I thought. Holds different segments of cloth together. So this is definitely partially decorative too, but it's not a pipe. It's not a tiny tube. Binding. Yeah, it's binding. Hold on, I like this. Plus it's almost break time. Well, it's pretty much break time, but that's what, binding... Nani? Sewing? What is binding? Oh! What is binding? Binding refers to a narrow strip of fabric attached along the edges of a project. It hides raw's edges so they won't show or fray, makes them look nice and finished. Binding can be used along the outer edges of a quilt, along necklines, or armholes on garments, and more! Ah! We found it. That's definitely what it is. Oh, I'm so happy. I love learning new stuff. Yay! Binding. The binding. Wonderful, we figured it out. Yay. 3 heads put together and we worked it out. Okay. I'll hold this up real quick so that... I held it up a minute ago, but not to show. So I'm going to go on my little 5-minute break. Here's how we've come so far. It's taking me a lot longer to do the pencil part, but I'm fine with that because Chibi Friday is about having fun. I'm not like making this to a deadline or anything, so. Oh, you don't make clothes, so didn't know all the terms. Well, it's nice that the term is the same regardless of whether it's a quilt or clothes. It said it's pretty much, if I remember correctly from 30 seconds ago, it's pretty much any sewing project where you would do that kind of thing. Alrighty, it's time for a little 5-minute break. I'm gonna go stretch and stuff, give my eyes a break. I hope everybody else will do the same. I'm going to turn my mic off. Be back in 5 minutes. Hello everyone, I'm back. I hope you're all back too and had a great break. Let me turn my mic up back to normal level. One day I'll make a nice little break time video that can play. One day. Who knows when I'll have the time. Let me get a drink of water real quick. It is. Along with stretching and stuff and just walking around, I had another little square of matcha lemon chocolate bar. Same one that I opened yesterday. So good. It actually was one of my Christmas presents. But I got so much candy for Christmas that this is the last bit of my Christmas candy. And we're about to get a bunch of Easter candy. I don't stuff myself with candy anymore. I just like to taste it. Like have one square, have one bar of chocolate. So that's why my Christmas candy lasts forever now. Yeah, it's so good too. It's white chocolate, which is not my fave, but the matcha plus lemon flavor is like, oh wait, maybe this is my fave because it's so good. Alright, so I remember I wanted to basically make his hips a little wider because of how wide his chest looks because of the way the vest is. So that's what I'm going to start on. And there's this little flap coming down from the vest. With the, what did we figure out it was called? Binding. With the binding, that's basically all you can see. And then his pants are fairly loose. Not like crazy baggy, but there's quite a bit of wrinkles and fabric here from where his leg is coming out. So let's add those in as well. And then one right here. That's probably good. And then it's a little tighter on the thigh and toward the knee. And then it gets a little more baggy again past the knee. So that it has a nice sort of overlay of the boot where it tucks in. It doesn't just tuck straight in. It has a little whoop. What's matcha? Oh, it's a type of green tea. I can't remember exactly the process to make it, but it uses a certain type of green tea. I mean, all true teas come from the camellia plant, I believe, and just the way the plants are raised determines what kind of tea leaf it'll create, and then the point in harvesting determines blah, blah, blah. Anyway, what you end up with matcha is a powdered green tea that's quite bitter. But it's super popular now with any pairing with a creamy sweetness, basically. So like chocolate bar or latte or boba tea, all kinds of stuff. And I love it. I just totally love it. And I think it's really good even in the basic form where you put like maybe a half teaspoon of tea in with, I don't know, 100 milliliters of hot water, you whisk it. Ooh, I learned in Japan how to whisk, because I tried to whisk before and I'm like, I can't get this to work. You have to like let your hand, it's kind of like with drumming, when you're drumming, the way you let your wrists sort of flop, but it's a controlled flop. You got to do the controlled flop to whisk the tea too. It's the same, so the same as with doing a drum roll. Anyway, so that's what I know about matcha off of the top of my head. It's super tasty. If you haven't tried it, ooh, go try it. It's so good. Tasty, tasty, tasty. Yeah, like when I go get boba tea or something, it's so hard not to get matcha. And I have matcha latte, a vegan matcha latte powder. This is made with soy milk and coconut milk, I think. Or is it soy milk and oat milk? But anyway, it's just powdered, so I can just boop, put the hot water in, and I've got my tasty matcha latte whenever I want. That's how much I love it. I keep a bag of it on hand. Yeah, you ask me about matcha, you're gonna hear everything about my love for delicious, delicious matcha green tea. It's so good. Okay, lots of wrinkles in here. I think maybe I'm going to simplify it a bit. I copied the image pretty closely, the reference image. Now that I'm seeing it, it's a bit much for a chibi, especially since as I get closer to the feet, the body gets smaller and smaller. So, let's simplify these a bit, where it's tucking into the boot. Yeah, that's better. And these wrinkles are coming across from the other pants leg. Okay, nice. Now this boot, we just need to see a little bit of the sole because of the way the foot is turning up. There, nice. And there's a little seam down the side of the boot, so I'll add that. It's very small, so I don't want to put too many details in, but that's not too much to ask, I don't think. Now this foot, for one, it's a very shaded for the position and the lighting in this reference image. So there's not very much showing anyway. I think I'll just add the seam on the pants. Not add too many wrinkles. But if I'm adding that seam, I need to add the seam on this side of the pants too. Alright, that's good. And this boot... Oh, Exie is here. Hello! How are you? Thank you so much for joining me. Yay! I was missing you. How's it going? Has your weekend kicked off well? Since it's probably Saturday for you already. Yay, I'm so glad. So glad. 3 of us in here, hanging out. A nice start to my birthday vacation. That's why I always, from the very beginning of live streaming, I always did Chibi Friday. Because I knew that it would always set up my weekend right to work on Chibi art. Okay, this must be a zipper because it's not on the outside of this boot. But on the outside of this boot, I can see some lines that are not visible. Some lines going horizontally. So let's add those. So I guess they're just on the outside part of the boot. There. I like if I can fit little details like that in. Oh, awesome. So glad to hear it as always. You're welcome. Oh, it's good. Awesome. Oh, it still would have been Friday. Oh yeah, because the time change made my stream not as late for you. Well, it's good if your very young Saturday is already off to a good start. Okay, so I don't really his vest is made out of a very sturdy fabric. There's a little bit of indication of wrinkles, or not even wrinkles, but just like sort of variations in the plane of the fabric, but not enough to try to fit them in here. Oh, I just got my fit goal again. Yay! I'm a wee fit goal. So the next thing I want to add, is another iconic part of his outfit, that white strip of fabric around his waist. I have not added that in yet, so let's draw that right on top of all this other stuff that I have. In fact, let's erase now where I've indicated it's going to be so I don't get confused by all these lines right here. Any fun weekend plans? I guess that's a question for anybody. Anybody got any fun weekend plans? For me, it's been just normal weekend other than knowing that I don't have to I don't have to go into work mode come Monday. Otherwise, it's fairly normal weekend. Gonna go to the library and gonna have lunch with my friends on Sunday. Oh, wow, all day? So what, like 8 hours? Ooh, on a Saturday? That kind of sucks. Continuing education. You always work Sundays. What's the continuing education entail, though? Is it at least something, like, interesting? Okay, this part I'm going to... So the part of the sleeve, or the arm opening... I had it right up in his armpit. I'm going to drop it down a little bit. So that's actually what I'm seeing here in the reference. With how thick this fabric is, it actually seemed like it would be pretty uncomfortable to have it riding up in there. So I changed that, and I'm just looking for more little details to add to his outfit before I basically call the lower body done, but very close to that point. 8 CEs. So what? So 8 CEs is 8 continuing educations. You have to tell me what that is. You need 24 hours and you haven't started yet. Continuing education hours. Okay. So it's going to be 8 hours tomorrow, and that's 8 out of the 24, so you're going to have to do at least 2 more similar sessions or something else. Do it at the end of the year. Well, at least it's the end of the year, so you're getting a third of it knocked out of the way in a single day, so that's not bad. Ganbatte! Good luck! I'm cheering for you. Man, if you could just do it this weekend, do it the next weekend, and the next weekend, and boom, it's done. Oh, and 8 can be online. Yay! That's not too bad. Especially once you get it over. If you get it over sooner, then you won't have to worry about it or anything later. Okay. Looking at his outfit. Okay, he does have... I wonder if this is part of the vest. Well, anyway, there's something that seems like it's below, like a shirt or something. But it also has... strips of fabric going across. I guess it doesn't really matter what it is, because I think that's enough to depict that it's there. I'll show you. So I think I'm done with the bottom half of his body. There's that. And all the details from his live action outfit from the first... I believe this is the first outfit he was in. The first outfit he was... Yeah, the first outfit... The first episode he was in and the first outfit he was wearing. That's what I put 2 thoughts together into one. Okay. Oh, what's this? Oh. Oh, okay. Well, that's good. At least you can choose so that it's something. Besides, I think that's great that it's something that you'd enjoy or you think that would be useful, because that actually means that you'll be learning. If it's something that you don't find any pleasure or use in, it's so hard to actually pay attention. Alright, so that means that you're not focusing on getting it over with as soon as possible, I guess. You're focusing on getting the most value out of it, and that's probably good since you have to pay for it. Oh my goodness, you guys! Hello, kitty! Hello, little kitty. I can't show you, but there's this little black neighborhood cat that always comes to our front door, and we feed a little bit of food sometimes. It just came up to my window because I'm in the basement. It's got a window outside, and I have the window open, and the kitty just came right up. So cute. Oh my god. I've never seen that kitty come just right up to with like its nose against the screen because I have the window open since it's so nice outside. That was freaking adorable. Okay. Yeah, I don't think it's a stray. I think it's the neighbor's cat, but it's just an outdoor cat all the time, it seems like. So it's just It's stray in that it walks around and strays, I guess. Oh, interesting. One of the other options is hot bamboo. I think I've heard of bamboo massage. I've never gotten one, though. I've gotten stone massage. I really like. There was a stone massage, and they put a hot stone on each individual of my toes. It was so lovely. I don't know what it was about that. It was just a little teeny tiny stones on each toe. And just let it sit there and warm my foot. Bamboo. Hot bamboo. I wonder what you'd do. Is there like little tiny bamboo pieces that you put on people's toes? I actually think I was signed up for a bamboo massage when I went on that cruise last year around Japan. But the massage company, I didn't know how it worked. I'd never been on a cruise before, but it was like it was a third-party company that sort of contracts with the cruise and they operate the spa and everything. And they were so pushy with their luxury, super crazy, spendy products that after the first massage I got, even though I had booked all kinds of stuff for the whole cruise, I was like, yeah, let's make this the best cruise ever. We canceled everything from that point on. So I was like, this is not relaxing at all to be hard-sold stuff. Is this going to happen every time? So actually, they lost more money than they made. I spent more money than I expected on the first massage, because it was such a hard sell that I felt like I didn't have any choice. I was so taken aback. I was like, oh, I'll relax. And they get you while you're not expecting it, I guess. I did not like it at all. Anyway, I think they were going to do a bamboo massage on and find out what the bamboo massage is like. Oh, well. Anyway, let's finish up with his face. Oops, I'm on the wrong way on my picture reel. There we go. There's not too much more to add. I think I just will add a little bit of some lines to his teeth and maybe some more eyelashes on this side. I'd add a couple tiny little points on this one. And I think that would be nice to put it on this one too, because that's actually what I'm seeing. Also, the line for the, what do you call that? Like the fold where the eyelid goes in. It involves rolling the bamboo. That's what I would expect. Just like having like a piece of bamboo and going whew, whew. I wonder why bamboo. Just because it sounds exotic, or is there supposedly some benefit to bamboo, like it's kind of soft so you can roll harder, or I don't know. Okay, I really like what I've done with this eye, so actually I'm going to change this one to match. Have the eyelashes sticking out a little bit lower on this farther eye. I'm going to change that. Let's put them up, that's about the same height. And make them very small because I don't want them to look like, sometimes anime characters, male anime characters are given eyelashes as a sort of a joke, which is weird because everybody has eyelashes pretty much. I mean, I won't say 100%, but maybe some people don't have eyelashes, but everybody I've ever met has eyelashes. So, I mean, I understand because of makeup, social expectations, that kind of thing, culture. Women are considered to have longer eyelashes, but that's just because of you put makeup on and your eyelashes will be longer. It doesn't mean that male humans don't have eyelashes, especially since eyelashes are meant, as far as I know, is like to help keep stuff from getting in your eyes. So having eyelashes is very beneficial in a practical sense. Anyway, that's always bothered me a little bit. That if you put eyelashes on a male anime character, or masculine anime character, then it can be interpreted as a joke. Anyway, it's such a complicated thing to navigate. Oh, Sarah, give me a big response. Oh, you won't use bamboo. Oh. Ah, I see. Wow, there's so much to consider for these continuing education stuff. Yeah, so that's the kind of thing I was thinking of. It's like, okay, you should never say 100%, but in general, most people have eyelashes. It's not like what stereotypical anime depictions of men versus women depict. Women have eyelashes and men don't have eyelashes. That's not the case at all. So, I think that this is good. I think I'm ready. So I got his eyebrows. I've got his eyes. Oh, I didn't draw these. The eyelids. The crease, that's what it's called. The crease in the eyelid. There we go. And on this side. Just seeing if there's any sort of feature on his head that I'm missing, but I think I've got it all. So at last, we can begin inking. Yay! Let's put this stuff away. Get my pens out. You literally know the exception. Yep. I mean, who knows? Some people might be born without eyelashes, or there's probably all kinds of things. Especially, there's so many people in the world. But, yeah. The social expectation that women must have long eyelashes and men must have not long eyelashes. I don't think it's good. Don't think it's good. Okay. Get my pens out. My Sakura Micron set. Well, it's the Sakura Pigma set, and then there's the Micron sizes. I have a PN, which just stands for plastic nib, and then my 2 graphic pens. So these are all black ink from Sakura brand Pigma line. Time to ink. Let's do, I think I used, it's so nice that I still have my Sanji here. I think I used this one to do the outline. So let's do that first. And then I can draw all the rest of the lines to fit with this outline. I've been finding that easier recently. I don't always do it in this order. Sometimes I do all the rest of the inking first and then add this outline, but this is what I've been enjoying. Do this first. I'm doing little taps for the ends of his hair to give the texture instead of a line. Little taps, like making little dots, sort of. And for around the body, I try to do my best to ink outside the line and not on top of it, because it's just so small that if you ink with such a thick pen on top of the line, you really lose a lot of the space on the interior. Oh man, I need an eye drop in my contact eye. It's starting to stick a little bit, and then it's blurry if it's stuck to my eyelid a bit and moves off of my iris. It's okay right now though. I was able to blink it back into place. Okay, this outside part here. Alright, the outline for the body is done. Do this this real quick so that I can get this side. It's easier to move my hand like this. But this was in the way. I keep saying this. It's not very descriptive. It's easier to move my hand toward my body. And the clipboard clip was in the way. When I can think of it, I try to be a little more descriptive with my words. Just in case someone is not, like, actively watching and they're just lurking and listening. So if I say this all the time, it's not helpful to someone only listening. There's actually a character in Bustafellows, one of the games I'm playing right now. I'm playing it with my youngest sister. And it's the landlady for the main character's apartment. And she says this all the time. And it's so distinctive because I think it's one of the few times I think this character only has a few lines, but it's so memorable because it's in Japanese, but it's like, are, そしてあれだね、あれはあれね kind of thing. And it says are, which means that. Look, literally all she's saying is that over and over. And then the joke is that the main character somehow completely understands what she's talking about. So I don't want to be that landlady if someone's just listening to my stream. Okay, I decided to go with the 08, which is the largest of the micron pens, as my next inking size. For this line here, I think a thicker line is nice because that makes the fabric look thicker as well. And helps imply a shadow without even drawing any shadow, like a shadow cast by the bandana onto the head. Other places I want to use this thicker pen. Probably on the eyes, mouth. I'm actually quite excited for how the way I treated the eyelashes for him. Excited for how it's gonna look once I get rid of all this sketchy stuff. Not sketchy as in suspect, but sketchy as in it's from the sketching. I'm doing the dreadlocks with some tapping and squiggly motions to further add texture to the hair. I'll show you in a second when I'm done. And that also helps differentiate between what is a dreadlock and what is right here, his ear. A little bit of his ear is still showing. The ear is done with a smooth line. No ear, only hair. Osatuita is here. Hello! Yay! Everybody's giving me a little adorable ranger. How are you? Oh, and you have that tofu. You have that little tofu icon. How are you doing? Yay! I'm so glad you can make it. I wasn't sure if you'd be able to make it if you had internet where you are. Or cell phone connection or whatever. Almost done with this hair. Let's draw the jawline too. This is another area where I think a thick line would be helpful in implying some shadow without actually drawing it yet or coloring it. So let me show you the difference between there. I think it's pretty clear. For the hair texture, I use that kind of method that you see versus the smooth lines for the skin and the bandana, etc. Aw, I'm glad you were able to save the woodpecker. Oh, I saw a woodpecker today too. I realized that they have an amazing way of flying. At least the ones that I see is they flap and then like a bullet. They like flap and then tuck their wings in and soar like a bullet. Flap and then soar. Oh, cell signal is spotty. Well, I am only going to be on for another 21 minutes, so hopefully it lasts. Maybe the woodpecker parents will be able to come find their baby. I learned quite a while ago that it's just a total myth that birds will abandon their babies if humans touch them. I think it's just that the birds are like, well, I'm not going to go anywhere near a human while they're still there. So maybe, if they feel it's safe, they'll come and get their baby. And this just a little bit of the eyebrow texture showing here. Because the eyebrow's wrapping around the head on this side. So I wouldn't see too much of it. Did I get all the lines here? Oh, these little lines for the teeth. I went down to the size 3, so that's 2 sizes down. I think I'll do the rest of the lines with this size probably. And using 2 different sizes of pen to do the wrinkles on the bandana will help make it look like a little deeper wrinkle or a lighter wrinkle. Just gives it nice variety. In a box with some water. Maybe it'll be like the robin chick that I rescued once, and I looked up what to do, and it's said that often they're found on the ground because they're trying to learn how to fly. And so I got a basket and nailed the basket to the fence. I bet you've seen it. It's back behind the shed. And then I put the baby in there, and the next day the baby was gone, and there wasn't like a dead baby around or something. So I think that it did figure out how to fly and was able to fly away. Ooh, it's so hard. It's so hard to choose which lines to tackle first. I think some stuff I do need to go. In fact, I'm going to go to my tiniest. It's a 005, which is just 0.2 millimeters. So there's these little rivets here on the bag and the, not clasp, the ring, sort of. It's a square shape, though. These are so small. I need this tiny, tiny pen. Okay. Whew, I got him. We'll go back up to the 3. Oh, you found out what kind of woodpecker it is. A downy woodpecker. I don't know if I've seen that one. I can't remember the kind that... That name is not familiar to me, so that's not the kind that I see flying around here all the time, but... It's full grown. I'm sorry the video is not working for you. My bitrate is always messing up all the time too, so I wonder if that's affecting it. It'll say unstable, then it'll say excellent. When I've done troubleshooting through the Twitch troubleshooter, it always says it's excellent, so I don't even know what to do. What do you feed a woodpecker? I wonder. I have no idea. Well, woodpeckers eat bugs. It's not always that... Okay, so this is something I learned about woodpeckers, because sometimes it seems weird, like, why are they pecking on a metal pole? And the answer is they don't just peck to get the bugs out of wood in the tree. They peck to communicate with other woodpeckers. So that's why sometimes they'll peck on things that is not a tree or wood or anything. If it makes a good sound, then they'll use it. But I'm pretty sure they eat bugs. To the best of my knowledge, without actually looking it up. Bet Wikipedia knows. Wikipedia knows all. I love Wikipedia. I always give a little $3 donation every year when they ask me. Because I use it all the time to look stuff up, or sometimes I just have a little spare time and I go down the rabbit hole clicking in and clicking in and clicking into the next article. Because I'll be like reading an article about something and then I'm like, I don't know what this is, but there's an article, so click that, read about that, and it goes on forever. It's so tough because these lines are so small. They are so tiny lines. It's physically difficult for my eyes to stay trained on the specific line I'm trying to work with. When I'm going in for a line, I have to make sure, okay, eyes don't blink. Line's done? Okay, you can blink now. For this big clasp on his bag, I'm going to draw this top ball first, and then this U shape. Then the bottom ball and the bottom U shape. Whew, did it. Top edge of the bag, bottom edge of the bag. I'm so pleased with this. He's looking so good. Little birthday Usopp. Bird seed. I could imagine them eating seeds too. Why not? Taking another gulp of water. All right. There's just a few more lines I'm going to do with this larger pen, and the rest are wrinkles, so I want them to be small. I'm going to use this tiny pen for those. Ooh, and I realize that I need an edge in here. There. I needed an edge, or these sort of flaps on the side of his vest. I needed an edge because we could see through this loop for the bag. And there's a difference between where the waistband is that's wrapped around his hips and then where that flap is covering it from his vest. Phew! Well, I got that in there. Alright, just a few more little tiny details. Wrinkles and... what is this? The hem? Is it a hem? Oh, it's a seam. It's a seam on his pants. These little straps of fabric on his boots. And the zipper on the inside of this boot. The sole of this boot. Oh, Satuita just messaged me. Signal is too bad to finish watching this stream, but the Chibi is coming along well. Thank you! Well, at least Satuita could join me at all for Friday. She's out of town this week, so we're not hanging out together today. Maybe she'll watch the recording later. Thank you for joining me, Satuita! If she watches the recording, that message was for her. Alright. I'm done with the basic inking. I'll probably add a little bit more ink. I mean, if nothing else, I'll definitely add ink into the pupils. But this is enough that we can erase the guidelines now. Haha! If I do say so myself, he's looking so good. As usual, I'm just going to use my kneaded eraser first. Gentler on the paper. It also doesn't make as much of a mess because this kind of eraser picks up the graphite or whatever you're erasing. Oh, I left my sound on my PC. I did not realize that. And as usual, I'm going to erase all around the Chibi in case there's stray graphite that I got on there from my hand rubbing across the drawing and spreading it. There's definitely plenty of areas that I want to erase with a plastic eraser after this, though. Especially since it took so long to get this just right, how I wanted. For my birthday, Usopp. Done with this, put that away. And I realized I did not do the wrinkles in his waistband. Let's add some wrinkles in there. That's enough. Boop. Boop. Put my pens away. Plastic eraser. I'll use my rectangle shaped one. I'm just going to go over anywhere I see remaining graphite lines. And since I did do so much sketching, there probably won't get as clean as Chibi's, where I felt more confident with my first lines. But that's okay. This is fan art. I'm not being paid with the ultimatum that if it has any graphite lines, then I won't be paid or something, so it's fine. But I do want to clean it up as much as I can. Wonder if anyone has ever gotten such an ultimatum. We'll pay you $100,000 to draw a Chibi with graphite pencil topped with ink, but you cannot have any graphite pencil left in the drawing. or you forfeit the entire fee. That's the kind of thing my perfectionistic mind, not literally that story, but that's the kind of thing perfectionism makes you fear. So learning how to let go of that is so liberating. So nobody's going to notice. By the time I'm done, nobody is going to notice. And even if someone does and was mean to me, what would it matter? It would not matter at all. So that's how my new brain works. My new mindset. I still hear the echoes of the old perfectionistic Mika. But new Mika is like, no, you don't have to worry about that. Alright, I think that's as good as I'm going to get it. There's so much eraser dust on there, I am just going to get my swipey brush. Oh, thank you, Sarah. Thank you, thank you. Oh, Aoife came over and put her head in my lap. Did you hear my two minds fighting? No, she's saying it's time to go now. Not yet, 7 minutes. You're blocking my trash can. You gotta go sit down for 7 more minutes. Alright, there she goes. Alright, now I'm swiping this in trash can. My trash can's actually an old popcorn tin. You know those big popcorn tins that people get around the holidays with like 3 flavors of popcorn in it? This is one I got in high school from my Japanese teacher, actually. I was like, oh, could I have that? It would be a perfect trash can for me. I didn't have my own little like wastebasket, I guess. And I've had it ever since. It has tulips on it. Just a photo of tulips that wraps around. So now you know about my trash can. I mentioned it because it does always bang when I bang the brush on it, so it was go dong, dong. So I thought I'd tell you the story about my studio wastebasket. You didn't see any pencil lines? Yeah, it's not... That's the kind of thing... It's like I see it, but it's not really captured on the camera. I mean, now it's looks quite clean. And maybe some of it is even that I know exactly where to look because I'm the one who drew it, so I know where they were. I think that's pretty good. Still have 5 minutes though, so let's continue with inking. Let's add the black into the pupils, which I always like the pupils to be true black or as close as you can get since they are just a hole in the eye where light goes in. So instead of, one of the things I learned with my art education was that there aren't actually that many places on the human body where there's a true black. So it's like maybe the nostrils, because those are all the holes, so the light just can't get in, the pupils. Otherwise, there's not that many places it should actually be some really dark other color. So now that I've done that, I want to bring this pupil down a little bit by adding some more ink to the bottom part on the far eye. And let's add, I think his eyes are brown. They definitely look brown in this. So I want to add a little bit of some lines to the iris to get that started, the idea of shadow and color in the iris without even adding any color. Add a little bit more to the mouth. Oh, Aoife's announcing herself again. She is the gassiest dog. Okay, where else would I want to put any lines? Maybe with a smaller pen. Add some hatching to, let's go to 02 size, which in millimeters is 0.3 millimeters. Add a little bit. Oh, hold on. Aoife is so impatient. She's knocking on the door. I'll just open it. Chappie got up and ran out too. They couldn't wait 2 more minutes. Oh, I will allow this. I will allow this. This is PG. It's allowed. And Aoife does that all the time. Chappie too. Like they don't expect it. Like, what? What was that? It's so funny. What? I did not think it would sound like that. That's so funny. Probably because Taika is much younger than Aoife. Aoife is estimated 3 years old now. If I'm remembering correctly, Taika is much younger than that. I think I found a spot I want to erase a little bit more. Let me get my tiny round one. Right at the corner of the eye. Oh, yep. Good. Let's get these on the other side too, just in case. Well, I think I want to ink a bit more, but it's basically quitting time, and I'm getting hungry. I'm looking forward to my little dino nuggets. Dino nuggets and french fries, and video gaming. Kick off my weekend. So let's call this good. I'll be back. The next Chibi Friday will be in 3 Fridays, and we'll finish up Chibi live action Usopp. I'll hold him really close. There he is. Yay! I'm quite happy with how he's coming along. I'm so excited to add him to my collection of Usopp fan art that I've done over the years for our joint birthday. Alright, so that's it for my stream, but let's find somebody to raid. I had several people live earlier. We'll see if they're live now. Oh yeah. Oh, it's hard to choose. We have so many options. But maybe we'll go to Sea Crafts by Celia, because it looks like she only has 2 viewers right now, so I think it might be nice to go join her. Says she's doing, it just says Art Friday. Looks like she's painting something. Okay, so I've got to move over to my PC. Just give me a second. As I always say, I prefer to raid from my PC so I can actually communicate with the streamer that I raid. Because I hate typing on Twitch on my phone. I hate typing on my phone anyway, but it's even worse on Twitch, the way the interface is. And anyway. Okay, so I'm over at my PC now. Hold on, I'm looking at the chat of Sarah's messages. Tom thought it was you. It's funny. Oh, yeah. So that makes sense why he would be surprised. He's only a year old. He doesn't know about farts yet. So funny. Okay. Let me open another Twitch, another tab with Twitch in it. The reason being, if I use my stream manager to raid, it doesn't take me to the raid, so I don't feel sure that it worked. Alright, Sea Crafts by Celia. Alright, let's start this raid. It started. Yay! Okay, everybody, I am going to be on my birthday staycation for the next 2 weeks, so I won't see you over the next 2 weeks, but I'll be back on the Wednesday after that for more illustration work, and I really hope to see you then. But the raid is ready, so let's go! Yay, it worked. Okay, anybody still on my stream or watching the recording later? That's it for me. I will be back, as I said, in a couple weeks. I hope to see you then. Thank you for watching.